Hang tight, everyone. We'll begin in just a moment. Good afternoon and welcome to today's Spotlight webinar. The theme of today is franchise friendly. We have a great presentation for you, but before we begin, I wanted to start by thanking everyone for taking the time out of their busy days to join us. We have an excellent panel of speakers that will be presenting today. I'd like to start by introducing you to John Ostenson. John serves as the co-founder and CEO of 10x5. So welcome, John.
Honored to be here.
There he is. Welcome. We're thrilled to have you.
Great. Thanks so much for having us. Honored to be here.
Great. Next up, we have Cynthia Cassidy, who is also with 10x5, and she is the VP of the Sales Center. Welcome, Cynthia.
Thank you, Jessica.
You're welcome. All right, and then I will also be presenting today. My name is Jessica Michaels, and I serve here as our Google Guru and Product Coach. So I'm hoping to spark some excitement and drop some knowledge on all of you today. So with that, let's review our agenda. I believe the webinar will probably take somewhere around 30 to 45 minutes. And we're going to be looking at the franchise model. We're going to look at trends and franchises, and we're going to look at franchise-friendly features. And then we're going to have an interview with 10x5 in the mix of it. So really looking forward to that. Now, as a coach, I always like to start my webinars with a couple of exercises just to make sure that everyone is familiar with their GoToWebinar control panel. So with that, if you can hear me, can you raise your hand? Let's see if we can see some hands going up. Okay, looks like I can see some hands up, so I'll pull those down. All right, if you can see my screen, will you raise your hand? Okay, I see some hands going up for that too. Great. So that means that everyone can see and hear see my screen and hear me, which is good. We also have a questions box in the GoToWebinar control panel. So if you have any questions during the presentation, you can enter them in at any time and we'll address them at the end. So just to make sure everyone is familiar with the questions box, why don't you tell me your name and where you're dialing in from today? See where everyone's from. And it looks like this is coming in a little delayed, so I will tell you again, my name is Jessica Michaels, and I'm coming in from Serena Park, Maryland, and it is a cold day today. Okay, here they start coming in. All right, looks like we have some people joining us from Arlington, Virginia. Welcome. We have some of our friends from Colorado. Looks like we have a Kimberly from Florida. I'm a little jealous, probably a lot warmer there. Looks like we have Jeff coming in from Montana. Oh, here, these coming in fast now. We have Kayla coming in from Memphis, Tennessee. All right, well, welcome everyone. Now they're coming in really fast. So I'm going to go ahead and close those out. All right, so I have one other exercise I wanted to do before we get started. I think it's a little bit more fun. I have some polls, so let's do a little trivia lesson. Okay, I'll go back to the slide. All right, so let me launch my first poll. So here we go. So who is considered to be the father of the modern day franchise model? Is it Babe Ruth, Thomas Edison, Albert Singer, or Henry Ford? Cast your vote. If you get it right or wrong, there's no consequences. Bragging rights. So I'll give you guys just a minute to enter those in. Okay, let's take a look at what everyone selected. And I'll share it. Looks like everyone selected Henry Ford, which is actually incorrect. The correct answer would have been Albert Singer. He is widely considered to be the father of modern day franchise model, particularly in the United States. Singer is credited with being the first to develop a franchise contract in the mid-1800s in order to help distribute his sewing machines across the country. So good guess there, but wrong. Let's see if we can get it right with the next one. Okay. So what gym franchise is nicknamed the Mecca of bodybuilding? Is it Gold's Gym, 24-Hour Fitness, Anytime Fitness, or Gym Guys? Cast your vote. Again, I think they're coming in a little bit delayed, or else no one's voting. So let me see. Give you just another minute. All right, let's take a look at the answers. All right, we have mixed results this time. We have 25% guessing Gym Guys and 75% guessing Gold's Gym. Well, if you guess Gold's Gym, you are correct. The original Gold's Gym in Venice, California is nicknamed the Mecca of bodybuilding. Gold's Gym is the largest global co-ed gym in the world. So fun fact there. And our last trivia before we get into our presentation today. What burger franchise offers over 250,000 possible ways to order a burger? Is it Burger King, Five Guys, Steak and Shake, or Fuddruckers? All right, again, I'll give you just a few seconds to cast your votes. All right, let's wait another minute, see if we get a few more. All right, and time's up. Let's take a look. So we had 33% guess Fuddruckers and 67% guess Steak and Shake, which unfortunately both of those answers are incorrect. The correct answer is Five Guys. So there are over 250,000 possible ways to order a burger at Five Guys. And the five guys behind the burger chain are actually five brothers from Alexandria, Virginia, who founded the restaurant in 1986. So fun trivia to start our webinar. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and begin the presentation. Okay. Franchising is a powerful way to do business, as evidenced by the franchise employment growth continuing to outpace increases in the rest of private employment. This is probably because franchises combine the best of both worlds: the experience and far-reaching resources of the parent company, as well as the entrepreneurship, operational savvy, and local contacts of the franchise owner. But the franchise dynamic can be complex, with both parties making significant investments while remaining dependent from one another. When marketing or sales campaigns appear to falter, it is often difficult to know which party's efforts need fine-tuning or how to go about doing so. Fortunately, technology has made it possible for both franchisee and franchisor to synchronize, track, and maximize their resources easily, affordably, and most important, successfully. It is critical that each party in a franchising endeavor understand what the other is doing and what impact each is having on the other. For example, the parent company remains responsible for a significant part of the franchise's advertising and marketing budget. producing campaigns and marketing for their satellites to utilize, and needs to understand how effectively their dollars and campaigns are performing across a variety of markets. Franchisees, for their part, have the need to tailor some marketing efforts into campaigns built around their specific market and community. Both parties make an important contribution. One understands the brand and how to present it effectively across multiple channels, and the other has a homegrown insight into the local clients, economies, and attitudes. In order to best serve the franchise model, the two parties need to be able to communicate effectively, understand the value of one another's contributions, and be able to react to the changes at a local or national level. In short, franchising requires access to information and adaptability. Service-based franchises account for the most job growth in the sector, with business-related services leading the pack at an estimated increase of 35,000 jobs annually. Many of these new jobs are for customer service representatives. While the web has impacted the way consumers shop for goods, phone calls remain the lifeblood of the service industry. In this environment, providing high-quality customer service remains a critical need for parent companies and franchises alike, and is made more complicated by the consumer demand for both online and in-store interaction. Franchisors need to ensure that their national campaigns are driving calls to the right locations, while franchisees must be able to address the calls and concerns of a potentially national or global audience, while approaching sales and service issues from within the scope of their local office. The web's growing role in driving franchise business means that online channels must be managed carefully to ensure that national brand identities are maintained while driving business to individual outlets. And all communication with customers and clients must be tracked and studied across all franchises to ensure proper sales technique and to determine which campaigns are effective in which areas, and to understand what's driving conversions on both a large scale and at a local level. While the franchising sector is vast, with offerings ranging from fast food to legal counsel, there are many trends that affect the entire industry, and we're going to look at 3 of them. One being cloud-based franchising, the next being the rise of data, and the last one being franchise internationalization. The rapid increase of cloud-based software as a service provider has made it easier for franchisors to manage operations, update franchise software, and more without providing on-site IT expert to their franchisees. Meanwhile, franchisees can access central databases for help within technology, branding guidelines, and more. The speed and flexibility of technology has made the franchise model faster, easier, and more accessible than ever before. Businesses, marketing in particular, is all about data, and franchising is no exception. Many cloud applications come armed with powerful tools for collecting, analyzing, and reporting data. Marketing and business intelligence can help keep franchisors up to date on the performance of their partners, track the availability of inventory at multiple locations, and offer insight into the efficiency of advertising campaigns or sales initiatives. Currently, there are more than 400 U.S. franchises operating abroad, and this trend launches brand satellites across the globe and shows no sign of slowing. There's a growing demand for U.S. products and services in international markets. Combine this global craving with the growing ease and affordability of connectivity through technology, and the result is a worldwide spread of franchises. Technology has truly leveled the playing field and opened up multiple opportunities for the franchising industry. But all technology platforms are not created equally. And when it comes to choosing the solution for your own franchising business, There are certain features you should be sure to look for. While the web can drive inbound traffic, service-based franchises in particular rely on phone calls to create conversations and help their customers. And their marketing and sales performance and connectivity tools must be able to support them in these efforts. This unique call intelligence from CallTrackingMetrics does just this. CallTrackingMetrics can help route calls across locations, manage national and local numbers, gather and report on data on callers, web visitors, sales performance, and more. And with that, I'd like to welcome back our guest presenters from 10x5, John and Cynthia. So we're going to open this up into a little bit of an interview segment. So, John, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, great. Can you tell us a little about how 10x5 and how you support your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks again for having us, Jessica. Excited to be here. So 10x5, we believe, and I always like to start with the why. It sounds cliche, but ultimately it comes back to the why. We believe that fast-growing companies change the world, and 10x5 exists in order to provide that growth engine that really accelerates the scaling of these high-potential clients. And the way we go about it is providing a complete service offering, marketing and sales support. So everything from branding to PR and digital marketing to media buying. We've got a full creative team. And then what's really unique is under the same roof, we have an inbound, outbound sales center, call center, which we'll be focusing on this call. And, I don't like the term call center. I prefer sales center. And the way that we think about it is if Zappos and American Express were to have a baby, that's the client experience that we want to provide with Cynthia's team for the sales center. And Jessica, if I can just touch on, I love your emphasis on data. Everything we do, it comes back to data. All of the decisions we make are informed by data. That's an extremely important part of how we go about it. No, we work with both franchise systems as well as non-franchise systems as well, and just have some great case studies and examples of the great work the team's done.
That's awesome. And what's funny is I was wondering when I saw Cynthia's title of what is it, Sales Center? I didn't know what that was. So that's your take on a call center. So
we like to be mysterious.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So that's cool. Great. So I guess this is opened up for either of you, but what initially drew you to CallTrackingMetrics and what business challenges were you aiming to solve?
Sure. So honestly, we had probably 4 or 5 different vendors that we were using for call recording, call tracking, purchasing phone numbers, all of our different providers that would help us run a sales center or a call center. So I was looking for something that was a one-stop shop, a place where we could find all of those aspects in one area. And when I came across CallTrackingMetrics, it was like this beam of light came down from the clouds, and it was just amazing. I mean, the amount of savings that we've had when we switched over to CallTrackingMetrics has been huge.
And I bet it's been just such an ease to have everything centralized rather than having to go from place to place to try to build and gather data.
Oh, absolutely. One login. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Can you speak to your experience working with CallTrackingMetrics as a franchise client and how this has evolved since you began?
Sure, absolutely. So when we first started using CallTrackingMetrics, we were answering calls for one franchise client at the time. And, we're able to see which phone number each lead has dialed so that we can properly attribute each call to the marketing source or the tracking source that lead is coming from. And as probably the last couple of years that we've been using CallTrackingMetrics, we've grown, and now we're answering calls for multiple franchise clients, and we're able to see exactly which brand those leads are calling in from, as well as being able to direct those calls to the specific agents that are trained and specialized to answer calls for that client.
That's really cool. What routing tool are you using to do that?
Yeah, so we're using the call queues currently. So we have a different call queue set up for each franchise client that we have, and then we just assign our agents to each call queue. And we like round robin instead of the simultaneous ring. That way, it gives everybody the chance, whoever to do their disposition on each call, and things like that.
Very cool. Yep, I went too far. What tools do you use, and or what tools do you use most often, and why?
I think the tool we use the most has to be the live agent reporting report. What it shows us is it shows all the live calls that come in. It shows the number of presented calls, the number of calls that we've handled, the number of calls we've missed. And then it also shows us if there's a call in the queue, how many agents do we have live and able to take that call. And the agents have a screen specific for this real-time agent report. So they can say, okay, I'm not in the queue to accept a call because I'm doing a disposition. But if they see a call pop into the queue and there aren't any other agents available, they can throw themselves right back in the queue to accept that next call. Really optimizes our ability to answer every call.
Oh, that's nice. It's funny, we like to say here we eat our own dog food, so we obviously use our own service for like our support and anything, our sales team, and we have large screens throughout the office that actually are showing the same real-time agent dashboard, so we can see all of that. So I think it really helps also expose transparency, so everyone knows where everyone is, what their status is, who's on calls, what's in the queue. So yeah.
Absolutely. And it's nice that it's all customizable. So we've added different statuses in there, depending on which team the agents are on. We actually just recently moved over to the contact center plan. When we first started using CallTrackingMetrics, it was more geared towards just marketing and ROI and tracking marketing sources. But it has since moved to being a contact center solution as well, which has really helped us out. We can form teams within the system to say, okay, you're on team A, you're on team B, you're on team C, and then we can run reporting based on that as well.
That's very cool. And a fun story about the evolution of our product is we did start solely as a marketing platform or supporting for marketers. And based on our client feedback is how we've evolved into what we are today. It's when we send out surveys and all of our online reviews, we take all of that into consideration. And almost everything we offer now is based on what our clients have asked for. So our clients have really driven us to where we are today, which has been exciting. Yeah. So what features have driven the most results for your business?
I would have to say it's going to be the real-time agent report. I mean, just the visibility in how many calls are in the queue, how many agents are available. It allows us to, from before we had CallTrackingMetrics, it has allowed us to increase our answer rate drastically. We're now answering calls in the high 90% range for calls that are presented, when before we were probably in the low to mid 80s for answer rate.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, let me advance, show off your impressive stats here. So I think these are questions more designed towards John. And 1 second, my thing didn't update. So for those who don't have a centralized call center, do you feel that this is something that you should, or that they should consider?
Yeah, absolutely. And, great case study behind that would be one of our newer franchise clients, their 70-unit franchise system, One-on-One Mobility. Dave Paskin, their CEO, when he looks back, he would cite his one regret in starting that franchise system was not having a centralized call center. Here you've got all these franchisees spending money on marketing, and if some of those calls are going unanswered or not providing the client experience that's consistent, it's not a good use of your marketing funds. And so he's promoted us to his franchise system, and we started off with corporate location, and then every week we've been adding several more locations over the last couple of months as we've been proving out to the franchisees just what a great job that Cynthia and her team do. So we are big believers that the investment in a centralized call center or a call center partner such as 10x5 really pays huge dividends, as well as it attracts franchisees to your system. Our largest client out there today, Shelf Genie, the comment's been made by multiple franchisees that one of their core reasons for buying into the system was based on the support they got from Cynthia's team. And so no, we're big believers in the centralized call center. And as you can see, I mean, the job that they've been able to do handling 240,000 plus inbound, outbound calls for our largest client and producing a conversion rate of close to 85%. I mean, that's just outstanding. And I've gone through training. I've tried to answer the phones over there, and the team, I sat there for the longest time. The team was not, I was like, why am I not getting calls? All of you are getting calls. And finally figured out they weren't routing them to me because they didn't trust me to not bring down the metrics. So, we laugh about it, but it's true. And no, they just do an outstanding job. So big believers in a centralized sales center, if you will, just providing an awesome client experience.
Yeah, and congrats to both of you. That's a really impressive number, as it even states that the industry average is 50 and below. So you're doing something right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what's next for 10x5, and in what ways are you looking for CallTrackingMetrics to support that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're excited about the next couple of years. We have a very ambitious growth plan ahead, and our growth is dependent on our clients' growth. So really looking to support them well and work with these high potential clients. We're very selective on who we partner with, but really excited about the ones we've got in-house now, as well as the ones that we're talking to in the pipeline to really help them scale their businesses at an accelerated rate. We're getting great receptivity to the proposition that we bring to the table, where you're not having to work with a patchwork of vendors, like Cynthia was citing, even to this degree, for different items, but instead being able to go to a one-stop shop that really can't just do all things and be a jack of all trades, but really specializes in each of those areas. So as it pertains to how we'll partner with CallTrackingMetrics going forward, we'll just continue to build upon what's been a very strong partnership. We had Todd Fisher and Ken and team down here in Atlanta recently, spending an afternoon with us and getting to know John and Kim and yourself, Jessica, and others. There's just such great alignment between our two companies, and feel that I can reach out and call Ken or Todd at any time, and they've been very receptive to our thoughts on enhancements to the system and ways that they can better support us. So, those are the kind of partners that we look for, and look to certainly build upon what we've established.
That's awesome. And like I was saying earlier, like really our clients have driven the direction and evolution of our product, and we really value that. So, we say keep it coming. Give us your feedback, and let's build something great together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, thank you both for your time and insight into the industry. This was very helpful.
No, happy to be here. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, and if anyone has any questions that's specifically directed towards them, feel free to put them in, and they'll be joining us for our live Q&A as well. So with that, we're going to continue on in the presentation, and we're going to talk about call tracking features for franchises. So I actually put together this this video a few years back and thought it was worth sharing today. So let's take a look at this quick video. This is Lori. Like you, Lori works for a franchise. Lori has many clients and is very successful. Lori is so successful because she knows exactly how her advertising is performing. She has a secret weapon fueling her advertising. She uses CallTrackingMetrics. It works by assigning unique tracking numbers to each advertising channel, helping Lori get the most out of her marketing dollars. Here's how it works. You advertise in many places like billboards, online ads, and printed flyers. Call tracking measures the call volume for each channel, exposing which advertising channels are working and which are not, allowing Lori to better invest her marketing dollars and increase her return on investment. Tracking numbers can be set up in less than 5 minutes. Tracking numbers are available in over 35 different countries, in both local and toll-free, and they even offer vanity numbers too. Next, you'll need to assign a forwarding number. It can ring to your desk phone, cell phone, or to a call queue. It can ring at the same time or one and then the other. Lastly, you'll need to assign a tracking source to the tracking number. If you can put a phone number on it, CallTrackingMetrics can track it. Installing the CTM tracking code on your website will allow the software to dynamically replace the current phone number on your website with a tracking number. The numbers will swap based on how the visitor came to your website. CallTrackingMetrics integrates with Google Analytics and Google AdWords, meaning you can see your call data in analytics and your calls from paid clicks count as conversions in AdWords. The software is able to make an accurate match between the website visitor and caller, providing you with valuable information on how people are finding out about you, down to the keyword searched, making it easy to determine which advertising channels are bringing you in the most leads and making you the most money. CallTrackingMetrics comes with great features like live listen and call recording. You can receive email and text notifications with the call recording and the transcription of the call. CallTrackingMetrics comes with a franchise structure with master and sub-accounts, geographic routing, customizable billing, and white labeling options. It's quick and easy to set up, no long-term commitments, and you can add and drop numbers at any time. From simple to complex, our plans have you covered. Okay, so that was a quick video. The reason I pointed out that it was an old video is because it said in over 35 different countries, which we actually offer phone numbers now, I believe, in over 80 different countries around the world. So pretty much if you want a number, we can get it for you, if not on demand by request. So that is a high-level overview of how call tracking works. So we're going to look at a few more franchise-friendly features that we offer. So by combining the intelligence gathered on clients' online journeys with that collected via the phone, CallTrackingMetrics helps franchisors understand how their marketing spend is working in a variety of locations and reveals which local campaigns are leading to the most conversions for franchises. Let's review some of CallTrackingMetrics' franchise-friendly features. So we have two that are geo-based. So we have geo-contact and geolocation. They're pretty similar, geo-routing, sorry. They sound a lot very similar, but they do completely different things. So first up, let's talk about geo-contact. So with geo-contact, franchisors run regional and national campaigns from their websites, but their individual operators want clients to embrace them as local service providers. To help give franchises this local feel, CallTrackingMetrics employs the geo-contact tool. Using dynamic number insertion technology, geo-contact displays a phone number that is local to the area from which the visitor is browsing. So for example, if you're in New York, you would see a different number from a visitor who is in Florida. Visitors in Italy would see an Italian number, and visitors in the UK would see a UK formatted number. This can be really powerful for the US because we can go down to the area code. So right now I'm in Serena Park. In this area we have a 410, but if county over, we have an area code of 300 or 300, yeah, 301. Don't know why I struggled with that. So based on where the person came from, they can have a hyper-local feel. We have a lot of clients that is really important for them to have that local feel, and that is absolutely something that we can accommodate. So our geo-routing works a little differently than the geo-contact. The geo-contact is all about displaying a hyper-local number. The geo-routing is going to actually serve the call to the location that is closest to them. So it effectively serves local franchise customers. Isn't only about simply presenting a local phone number. Franchisors also must be able to direct calls to the appropriate location and get the agent best equipped to meet their needs. CallTrackingMetrics geographical routing makes it easy to direct calls to a region or a local queue, as well as specialized sales or service agents. And if you're a franchise owner based in Tennessee but traveling to Colorado, CallTrackingMetrics can make sure your calls follow with you. So we also have our smart router. So this is really cool. It allows you to apply logic to the routing. So one of the best examples of this that I like to use is with smart routing. We can say if you've called in once before and we asked you to press 1 for English or 2 for Spanish, we can remember that. And so that the next time you call in, we will auto direct you to your key press from before, because something like your language wouldn't typically change from call to call. So we can take that logic and automatically apply it, which really helps get the person to where they need to be as soon as possible and as easily as possible. So it's really great for remembering or applying logic to the routing. So we have a handful of other features that I wanted to briefly touch on today. And I'll actually switch into a demo account and give you a quick overview of these. So the first one is going to be our browser or mobile-based cell phone. So with that, there's no need to eat up your franchise budget on expensive phone hardware. And CallTrackingMetrics cell phone works within your computer's browser or on your mobile device, which is perfect for the on-the-go franchise owner and sales rep. They'll enjoy all the functionality, such as hold, transfer, conference, etc., of a traditional phone system, but with the added bonus of CallTrackingMetrics call intelligence. And the cell phone platform even keeps personal cell phone numbers private while keeping franchises mobile. So I wanted to quickly show you what that looks like inside of our system. Okay, so here is a demo of what the call log would look like. And what we can do is we have a few different ways we can view it. We can just click here and it would be a pop-up. So there's no need for anything like a desk phone or any expensive phone systems. We can place all of our calls right through here. And like Cynthia and I were speaking about earlier, we can actually set our statuses. These are just our generic ones. We allow you to create customizable ones. So it could be available. It might be that you're on break or lunch, or we do like ticket time here. So there's lots of different statuses that you can add. Okay, so that is the cell phone. Very easy to use. It could be a pop-up, or we can actually use desk mode here, where we're just embedded on the side. And with that, we can actually click to dial from any of our previous contacts. So pretty cool. And that also is available on the mobile app. So really anywhere, if you have a good internet connection and a headset, you can use our software. So we are also very much marketing based, moving much more into the contact center now. But with that, we have a powerful tracking functionality to help your franchise see which ads and channels are driving calls. Ad campaigns created centrally can be tracked by the franchisor, while franchisees can be given access to calls and data associated within their specific locations. So I actually want to show you what that kind of looks like as well. So here we have a bunch of calls that were coming in, and as far as showing campaign attribution, This is my demo account, so I can show you. Here we have a call. Let's look at I'm a cat. Here we can see this is the caller who called in. This is going to be the tracking source, so we know that this was from a Facebook paid source. And we actually have the session associated with the call as well. So we can click into here, and we're able to see even the campaign they came in on. We can tell you the keyword, the source, the medium, and the ad content. So pretty cool, as well as where they are on the map. So we have a lot of really cool attribution that we can do. And then we report on that, so we can actually tell you which campaigns are driving calls, and not only that, quality calls, which will be one of my next points. Whoops. There we go. So we have campaign whispers, which allows franchisors, they can include a brief recorded announcement or whisper to alert their franchisees when a call has come from a national campaign. This gives the agent receiving this call insight into the likely offerings of the caller that the caller is interested in, and helps keep franchisor-driven campaigns fresh in the mind of the franchise involved. So just a little recap on what that means. So as a call is coming in, it can actually announce to the person accepting the call insight about that call. So it could say that this is from, my Facebook paid source, or maybe even say that this was driven from this national branding campaign. You can fully customize what this would say. So that's pretty cool. It helps. It also helps inform agents if it is coming from a specific ad or maybe a promo, so it can alert them that this is what they want, so their agents can be that much more prepared for the call. So we also have sales performance scoring and monitoring. Franchises can score calls inside the platform, giving the franchise headquarter insight into the call quality and campaign performance. Franchisors can also listen in on live franchise calls to make sure the agents are following proper procedure and scripts, as well as track how many calls franchisees are taking or missing. So that's really important stuff. And that's how we really started to evolve into this contact center space. While the marketing attribution part is really important, we were discovering people wanted to know more and more about more of the call center stats, such as, who's missing calls? Are they following the proper procedure? Are they reading the scripts? And create a way that provides transparency into that. So I'm going to real quick switch back over into the call log and show you a little bit about this. So I'll close this. And then as you see, we have over here scored calls, and we can put conversions amounts with these. So here we can see, this call was worth $45, and we can put little titles with it. So this was a sale, this was an appointment scheduled. So there's a lot of ways that we can use that data to optimize. It could be based on the tracking source itself to see if they're actually bringing in ROI, or maybe I like to use the example of when I was on our marketing team here at CallTrackingMetrics, I ran a new keyword in our Google Ads campaign for internet phone. And our phone started blowing up, and we were getting, it was something ridiculous. Like, I think we got close to 100 calls in an hour from the keyword of internet phone. Now, if I were to have looked inside of Google Ads, that would appear that, this was the best keyword in the world. Look at all my conversions from phone calls that came in from that. But based on the call scoring from our team here, we actually marked those calls as we can star them, which, see if I have any starred calls. They were starring them as 1 star and using a not qualified reporting tag. So that showed me insight that even though it was drawing a lot of volume can also be a negative thing, because they were looking for a Skype type of service, not a service that we offered. So scoring really helps measure the quality when it adds just another dimension to it other than quantity for grading things. I've seen a lot of our clients utilize the scoring in a lot of really creative ways. So pretty powerful tool right there, and I have my own stories of how I've used it. So marketing spend. Franchises pay a percentage of their hard-earned dollars to their franchisors and owners who want to know that these royalties are being put to good use, that they're getting return in the form of tech or logistical support, branding, and marketing. CallTrackingMetrics makes it easy to track the return of investment for both the franchisee and the franchisor. Franchise owners no longer need to wonder what campaigns are working and which ones aren't. CallTrackingMetrics can reveal everything they need to know about the ad's efficiency. And for the franchisor's benefit, CallTrackingMetrics monitoring, recording, transcriptions, and keyword tracking can reveal volumes about how the franchise is handling inbound calls and driving those campaigns. CallTrackingMetrics keeps both parties informed, accountable, and armed with the knowledge they need to adapt and thrive. Franchising is growing with technology making it easier and more profitable across the globe. Data-driven marketing and the connectivity of the web has made it possible to carve out niches and connect with very specific audiences everywhere. And having a parent franchisor to help drive national or global brand awareness, while local owners provide on-the-ground operational insight and cultivate client relationships is the perfect combination. The connectivity, trackability, and intelligence provided by CallTrackingMetrics is a powerful way to integrate these two aspects of the franchise model, ensuring marketing efficiency and sales performance for a growing industry. So with that, if you'd like to know more about CallTrackingMetrics and our solution, feel free to call in. I don't actually know if these are clickable, or you can head over to our website and request a demo, and one of our very knowledgeable sales reps will walk you through the product. Also, if you'd like to know more information about 10x5, you can call them or email them. And also, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, there is a copy of this deck in the handouts portion of the GoToWebinar control panel. So if you can't real quick jot this down, you can always download the deck, and then you can reference that at a later time. So with that, I want to thank everyone for attending and open it up for some live Q&A, which I saw we already had some questions come in. So let's see. The first one says, more people are suggesting we use text when connecting with our clients. Is that something you can do? Absolutely. We actually had a webinar, I think maybe 2 months ago, that was just full on about our texting capabilities. We can do some really cool stuff. We can do automated text response. We can do bulk texting. There's a lot of really cool things that we can do with texting. So 100% yes, texting is something we do. And as we like to say around the office, it's really hot right now. So we got that.
We use the texting as well, Jessica. So it is a great feature. It helps us when a lot of times now that everybody's pretty much using a smartphone and a call goes through, they quickly just silence it and they hit that text reply where it says, sorry, can't talk right now, or something like that. So we can see that. We just have an auto text that goes back that says, depending on which client they were calling, it tells them, hey, this is who it is. Please give us a call, or click the number here to give us a call back. So texting it's a great feature.
Oh, that's great. And that's what I've been hearing a lot more, is that right now there's really a spamming problem going on, and I don't even want to get into that. But with that, most people aren't answering the phone unless they recognize the number. And in any case where you're doing like prospecting on a new product or something, you probably don't have that business saved. So what I've seen a lot of our clients doing lately is they're actually sending a text message before they dial to let the person know that they're from this company and that they'll be calling from this number. So it's a way to inform them, hey, don't ignore me. And a lot of our clients I've heard have really felt the impact of that, of actually connecting with their clients a lot quicker.
Yeah,
So
that's a great idea.
yeah, some cool stuff. I get excited about texting. So I did get a question directed at 10x5. We had somebody who's wondering if 10x5 is the main recipient of all calls, or if they allow the franchise to get a few of the first rings.
You want to take that, Cynthia?
Sure,
Great question.
yeah, that's a great question. We actually currently we have both right now. John spoke earlier about two of our clients, and one where they had wished they started out with a centralized call center. And our other largest franchise client that we serve, they did start out using us as their centralized call center. And so for that client, all of their calls come to us first. They don't go to the franchise partners. They don't go to their designers or their installers. They all come through us here. With the other franchise client that we serve as, for some locations, we serve as just the overflow, just because we're trying to re-engineer a centralized call center for a system that's very well established already. And there's some locations that have all their calls forwarding to us as their first point of contact, but some locations we are just overflow if they can't get to their phone.
Thank you. I think that answered the question for me at least. I did have someone ask, how do we differ from 8x8? Now, I'm personally not familiar with 8x8, so I couldn't tell you that. I assume that's directed at CallTrackingMetrics and not at 10x5. Are you familiar with 8x8, Cynthia?
I'm not.
I am
Yeah.
now. I just Googled it. 8x8 provider of cloud communications and customer engagement solutions. So I think that would be an answer for you guys. CallTrackingMetrics.
Yeah. Yeah, in that case, I would definitely recommend reaching out to our sales team, as they're going to be more in tune on what's going on around us competitively. But I personally am not as familiar with 8x8. So I'm sorry, I don't have the answer for that one. But good question. Let's see. I guess it actually went a lot longer than I expected. I'll wait a couple more minutes, see if any other questions come in. And I'll ask a question to 10x5. Have you guys considered using our auto dialer functionality?
Yes, we have. We just recently started. We took on a new client who's doing an outbound calling campaign, similar to like a cold calling campaign. And we have agents dedicated to pretty much just pounding outbounds. And so we've started looking into that auto dialer so that there's no reason to do any type of busy wrap up, and they're available to do another outbound call right after that, just to maximize the amount of time that we can actually have the agents working.
Can we start using it by next week?
Oh, absolutely. It's that easy to set up.
Yeah, it can be as easy or as complex as you'd like. I'm a huge advocate for our product, so I love to see the different ways that our clients have incorporated it into like their everyday workflows. And like I said earlier, we really like to, as we say here, eat our own dog food. So after a conference like we were just at with you all, the IFA, what we do is we actually upload all of our leads into a dialer so that for example, John was at that show. So he can put them all in, and then all he has to do is hit, accept calls, and it's just going to auto dial them all through. And, it's a really efficient way for him to reach out to all of them. So,
love it.
Yeah. We have incorporated the texting capability into the dialers as well, which has been really cool. So you can actually choose whether you want to do a dial or a text, or in many cases, people do them one after the other. They might send a text, hey, we're about to call you, and then actually call them.
All right,
So
we just put something new. Let's do that, Cynthia.
Okay.
there's some really cool functionality there, ever evolving. Okay, well, I don't see any other questions coming in. So I want to thank everyone for attending today, and especially our guest hosts from 10x5. Thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your use case.
Yeah, thank you. Enjoyed being here.
Yeah,
Yes.
and thank you. And thank you to everyone for attending. This is recorded, and we should have it on our website to be reviewed if you'd like, probably by the end of the day tomorrow. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to our team or the 10x5 team, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Bye.
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 Thanks.